Now, if you're an African entrepreneur or an African in diaspora who is building a business locally or in Africa, one of your greatest fears is going to be failure. You see, Africa has some of the worst statistics when it comes to business failure. And if you don't do the things I want to share in this video, you may soon be one of those failure statistics. I know this for a fact because I've been in many businesses and some have closed and shut down after we invested and spent millions on them. What I'm about to tell you is what was the difference between those that failed and those that survive and are doing very well. Now, in one of the businesses that failed, we had plenty of money. We raised about $100,000 from day one, but it soon collapsed in less than a year. I want you to imagine yourself, if you spent your last money or borrow money from family and friends to start a business and it fails after a year, you're going to have to lay off your most trusted staff, default on rent, that you've probably paid 2 years for. And a lot is at stake if you don't follow the process that worked for the businesses I'm going to be talking about. Now, what was the difference is that those that failed and those that survived, one key differentiation between them is that those that failed, we tried to copy and do exactly what every other person was doing. Even though we felt that the market was big, we could do everything others were doing. Now, in those that succeeded, we did a slightly different twist from what everyone else was doing, and it gave us a huge edge. Now, let's bring this to the export business and those of you that are in the saturated food business. Your business does not have to end in the local market. You need to differentiate yourself by going into export. You see, your product can go beyond your street, beyond your city, beyond your country, and into stores across the world. A few years back, I used to go around Africa, mainly Nigeria and Ghana, teaching African entrepreneurs how to start and grow a profitable export business. And I was always disappointed that most did not follow my teachings. Now, a few days back, an old student clearly differentiated himself. Mr. Bankole came to me telling me how my teaching had inspired him to start his first African store in Maryland, USA, and it will be opening this May. Now, the funny thing about this is that he did all this all the way from Nigeria. And when he told me the challenges he went through, how he almost gave up at some point, you see that success is not easy. It comes with hard work and determination. Now, too many African entrepreneurs are still thinking small, not because they lack the potential, but because they have not trained themselves to be differentiated by thinking export. You see, I've seen so many people that have good products. They have strong local knowledge. They have access to raw materials, but they stop at survival instead of building a brand. Now, if Mr. Bankole had given up on an American expansion after his first challenge, he wouldn't be where he is now. You see, export differentiation is not only for big companies. Export is for serious entrepreneurs who are willing to learn, improve quality, package well, and think long term. You will be doing this knowing that you will have challenges, but must be willing to overcome these challenges. I say it all the time. The world is looking for authentic African product. The diaspora is hungry for quality food from home. Retail stores are looking for trusted suppliers. Online buyers are searching for products with real origin, real story, and real value. You need to differentiate yourself by meeting this need that more than 99% of businesses have failed to do. Be that 1% that is different. I remember Dale Carnegie said, most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Some of you remember Colin Powell, the first black chief of defense for US. He said, a dream does not become a reality through magic, but it takes sweat, determination, and hard work. So today, I want you to ask yourself one question. How do I differentiate my food business? Why should your product remain local if it has global potential? You need to start seeing your business differently. Start seeing your product differently. Start seeing yourself as a brand builder, not just a trader. Now, your export journey may not start big, but it must start with a mindset. Begin to differentiate yourself today.